Hi, good morning, and welcome to the ZP Vlogging Podcast. So we do this every Sunday, typically at 8 a.m. London time, though we are an hour early today. Various things going on, so I've had to jump on a little earlier. But let me sort of jump into it and just say, look, this is a sort of roundup of news from ZP for the week. It is very Scandinavia Census Summit focused this week. The Scandinavia Census Summit is um, a conference that we have set up at ZP, though we do hope for the conference to be A, bigger than the ZP, and B, then actually independent of ZP. But really, it's kind of fitting into the Scandinavian community because there's not a big census summit in Scandinavia, but we're also going to tie it in with the rest of Europe, and we have people coming from as far as Australia as well, so it is quite international. The first thing to say that we've put some of the speaker profiles up this week on the website. We have Abhishek from Accenture is going to be talking. Accenture is one of the sort of, I don't want to say consultancies, but one of the big sort of business support businesses in the world. So we're delighted to have them. We've also got a very good friend of mine, Ali from Connex. I've known Ali before he was at Connex, but he will be talking on water quality. And we also have Enrico from ST Micro. ST Micro is quite easily $1 billion business, several $1 billion business, and they'll be talking about wearable sensors. So we're very much looking forward to having that. And I think that's a good start, because it sort of shows you that we already have an international lineup of speakers, and we're delighted that these guys are coming. Something else, as I say that. We are having this conference on the 13th and 14th of September. So we do hope that many people will sign up for it, or have signed up for it rather. Something else as well, at Zimmer and Peacock, we are known, also even synonymous with electrochemical sensors. But at the heart of ZP, there's actually something called Julie, which is a data management system that we use day in, day out at ZP. It's where we send all of our laboratory data, and it's really for data storage, for data processing, data sharing, and it also has an API capability. And so we actually are having a webinar on the something like the 5th of September, if I remember rightly, and on the 4th of September on Julie. And we're going to do these webinars monthly going forward. That said, so this week we actually had a webinar on Julie. Several of our engineers came along and presented a certain aspect of Julie. It went really well. What was really nice about it is, this sounds like a bad thing, but it's not that we rehearsed it. And the reason we didn't rehearse it was A, we wanted it natural, and B, we use this technology every day. So it wasn't necessary for us to rehearse it because we are the biggest users of Julie. We've absolutely optimized it for anyone who needs to look at and analyze electrochemical data. And therefore, the fact that we're so regularly using it means, no, we don't need to rehearse these webinars. The guys came in, they talked about literally what it is they do. And it was a really nice webinar, so thankful for the guys. And if you want to see that, we're going to repeat it again on the 4th of September, and there's going to be 2 webinars on that day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and that way we can cover the the eastern part of the globe and the western side of the globe in that way, and nobody's essentially excluded. It feels like a busy week already, but we're only halfway through this today. Something else, of course, I must remember to say this, that on the 17th of August at 8 a.m. London time, we will do our weekly webinar. Our weekly webinar really is a wrap-up on the news from ZP for that week. Not wrap-up on news on that week, sorry. It's answering technical questions that have come in. People will ask about screen-printed electrodes. People will ask about glucose sensors. People ask about staircase analysis of glucose sensors. So we answer all of those questions during the weekly webinar. So if you have any questions, really don't hesitate to reach out to us. You'll find that they actually, well, not actually, we definitely do the webinars. We're also doing a webinar on Food Sense. We do have a monthly Food Sense webinar, but we're doing one that's slightly unusual, that we're going to do it only in Chinese, which would be interesting because not all of us are native speakers of Chinese, but I think at ZP we're nothing if not brave. So we're doing a, along with our Chinese distributor, and so we're doing a Chinese only version of our webinar. And this is really in line with ZP support. So we did have a new customer. They bought some materials from us. They wanted to know a little bit about the property, so we put together a video for them, just describing the pieces that essentially that they've ordered. So we did put together a little video to help them understand what it is they've ordered. Something that's really important to us, this is also linked to Julie as well. At ZP, I would describe, well, one of the catchphrases we have is sensor to API. And what this means is we make an electrochemical sensor, we make the electronics, we make the app connects to Julie, and at that point, Julie has an API, an application program interface. We have that entire technology stack. And we've actually just doing we've just released a version, our generation 4 of this, especially on the hardware front, where suddenly the user experience becomes extremely different. So what I'm saying here is that at ZP we've put in a good 8 years, 10 months now on developing this technology stack. It's certainly very matured, and this is a technology now that means that somebody can come to us and say, all right, I want to do a idea, I actually want to be quick to market, or I want to be quick to an MVP, a minimally viable product, and actually ZP does have that technology stack to allow that to happen. We're going to have a dedicated webinar to this. So on the 5th of September, we're going to do 2 webinars, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, dedicated to introducing, discussing Sense-it All. So I really look forward to giving that webinar. And then I think finally, we do have the Scandinavia Sensor Summit. I've talked about it's on. I talked about the speakers. And we're also going to have a Welsh pavilion there as well, because ZP is international. We are in many countries. I think one of the smallest countries we might be in is actually Wales. It has a population of 3 million people. And we're going to have a dedicated Welsh pavilion at the conference as well. So if I was to summarize the week we've had, it feels like a busy one. Scandinavia Sensor Summit, the Welsh Pavilion's going to be there. The speakers are lined up. Julie is the heart of what we do at ZP, and Sense-it All is almost one of the conduits of getting data into Julie. Of course, if you have any technical questions for ZP, don't hesitate to reach out to us. The next webinar is on the 17th of August, and we always prepare answers and put together slides. So we really hope that that will help you. If you have any questions, as I say, don't reach out to us. We went a little bit early today, but we'll probably go early next week as well, just because it's sort of the summer holidays and things get a little bit more confused. Okay, well, have a good week, and as I say, reach out to us if you have any questions. Okay, thank you very much.